Welcome to Prioritize Your Health podcast, bringing healthcare right into your home.
Hello, greetings everyone. My name is Ojack Pascal. I'm a diagnostic doctor and a chemical pathologist specialist for now. Today we are going to be looking at a very interesting topic, food hygiene and digestion. At the end of this video, what I intend to achieve is that for those of you who may not have heard such term before, food hygiene and digestion, you shall become aware of what food hygiene and digestion is all about. And then for anyone who is watching this video, whether you've had such term before or not, at the end of the video also, I intend that it will become clearer to you, or you will have a better understanding of what food hygiene and digestion is all about, the importance to our general well-being, and how effectively we can go about achieving food hygiene and digestion in our day-to-day living. So as we navigate through this educational topic, I hope that it will be of great benefit to you. Anyway, before we proceed, I would like to say that whatever you hear me say here is purely for educational purpose and for our personal learning and consumption. It does not in any way replace the professional opinion of your doctors or personal healthcare handlers. Alright, food hygiene describes the various steps that are involved or which can be employed in ensuring the safety of the food we consume, starting from the point of its production down to the table, that is the final consumer. Digestion is the breaking down of large food particles to small water-soluble food particles in our system, thereby giving our body the enabling ability to have access to the nutrients that are contained in the food that we have eaten. Why is food hygiene an important topic that we should talk about? When it comes to health or having good health, the quality of the food we consume as well as how we go about consuming it matters a lot. Sometimes a lot of us focus more on the quality of the food we eat, or we talk more about the quality of the food we eat, not realizing that how we go about eating the food that we have, or how we go about handling our food right from the point of production to the final consuming stage is very, very important. So if you must experience good health, the quality of the food that you eat and how you go about handling that food matters a lot. That is why food hygiene and digestion is an interesting topic for us to discuss tonight. These are the few reasons why we must practice food hygiene. Improper handling of the food we consume right from the site of its production to the point of consumption will give in to various contamination, either by viruses or bacteria or parasites, as well as a lot of toxins and dangerous chemicals, which will now in turn lead to other health issues, cancer, food poisoning, and a whole lot of health issues that arise as a result of the food we have consumed. Of course, there is a general saying that you are what you eat. To a great extent, what is happening in your system physically and internally is simply but a reflection of the kind of food that you consume and how you go about it. So once again, food hygiene are the various steps that we employ in ensuring the safety of the food we consume right from the point of its production to the point of consumption. And if we do not employ these steps that are very, very necessary in guaranteeing the safety of the food we eat, it can lead to a whole lot of contamination with bacteria, viruses, parasites, chemicals, and the rest of them, which will in turn also affect our health adversely. Food hygiene is an important practice for everyone. Now, how do we practice good food hygiene to ensure the safety of the food that we are consuming on a daily basis? Number one, environmental hygiene and personal hygiene. It is very, very important that the environment where we produce our food should be clean. Of course, the farm is filled with a lot of rubbish and a lot of decayed things which can serve as organic manure. Nevertheless, the environment where we cultivate our food items can actually be healthy or unhealthy depending on how we go about handling the production. There are places where people use human feces to produce the food they eat, and many a time the environment where we cultivate this food and the things we apply to them can actually be a breeding environment for a lot of contaminants, ranging from viruses to bacteria to all forms of parasites. But if at the end of the day this food from the point of its production and not properly handled can lead to a lot of health damage. So the environmental hygiene is very, very important. Where you produce your food, where you are cooking your food, where you are storing the food, and any other environment where the food we consume are being kept, is very, very important that they be kept clean. And the next is your personal hygiene. A whole lot of persons easily eat food with dirty hands, not minding the consequences. Sometimes you see people traveling on the road, they're buying suya, they're buying granules, they're buying all kinds of things, or even those at home, food is ready and you see them without washing their hands. After touching all kinds of dirty money, you see them rushing to eat without properly washing their hands. And statistics have shown that about 30-something% of the food contaminants or food poisoning is as a result of using dirty hands to eat. So number one step to ensuring the safety of the food we eat is maintaining environmental and personal hygiene. Another thing is the temperature at which we store the food that we eat. Certain food are best stored at certain temperatures in order to avoid being contaminated. There are certain food that you don't need to keep it at room temperature to prevent decaying and bacterial activities, while certain food are best preserved at room temperature, such as your oil, agave, rice, yam, and other things. So the keynote here is that try to know the best storage temperature for the food you consume. Improper storage of the food you consume can lead to food poisoning and contamination. The next is making sure or ensuring that your food is safe from insects. Sometimes we expose our food, allowing cockroaches and all forms of pests to attack it, and at the end of the day, after allowing our food to be exposed to these insects and pests, we go ahead and consume them without knowing that sometimes some of these insects can lay their eggs inside the food that we consume, and if they are not properly cooked, can lead to food poisoning. So it's very important that we handle the food we eat with utmost care. Make sure that your hands are properly washed. Make sure that your environment is very clean. Make sure that the food items we consume are stored at the right temperature. Make sure that you're cooking also at the right temperature. Avoid too much exposure to insects and pests. And I assure you, with these little steps, you're already on your way to consuming a healthy food. And then we talk about digestion. Why is digestion very, very important? No matter the quality of the food we consume and how safe it is for us to consume it, if at the end of the day proper digestion did not take place, your body will not have the privilege of absorbing the nutrients that are contained in the food you have consumed. And when there is no absorption of nutrients from the food you consume, it's as good as you have not eaten. Definitely such a person is going to suffer from malnutrition, because though you are eating, the nutrients which are contained in the food you are eating are not available for your body to absorb. And the primary steps to ensuring that the nutrients contained in the food you consume are made available to your system is proper digestion. And so let's talk about the various steps that we need to employ, or the various things we need to do to ensure proper digestion. First of all, there are about 4 things that need to happen for the nutrients that are in our food to be made available to us. Number 1, there must be an ingestion. That means you must eat the food. If there is no eating, there will be no absorption of nutrients. Number 2, there must be a mechanical digestion. Mechanical digestion is the aspect where you need to grind the food that you have consumed with your teeth. The teeth that we have is not for fancy. There is a reason why God has given us the set of teeth that He has given to us. It is primarily for us to break down the food particles that are getting into our system. And it is referred to as mechanical digestion. There must be mechanical digestion. Number 3, there must be chemical digestion. This is the part where your body will now secrete digestive enzymes in order to aid the digestive process, which in most cases have already started from your mouth by the reason of mechanical digestion. And then there must also be the absorption of the nutrients before the rest can now be eliminated through the stool. So in order to ensure good digestion, these are the things that we need to do to ensure good digestion. Number 1, make out time to eat your food. Carve out time to eat. Many a time, a whole lot of us are always in a rush to eat. Is either we're on the go, is either we are rushing somewhere, or we want to do one thing or the other. We don't sit down properly to eat our food. We're always on the rush. If we must achieve proper digestion, we have to make our time to eat. Don't always be in a hurry. Before our body, our system can be able to secrete digestive enzymes, our brain must send a signal. There has to be a signal from the brain which will trigger the necessary organs and glands to produce the enzymes that are required to make digestion possible. And for that to happen, the brain also must be stimulated. And one of the things that will stimulate the brain to coordinate the other body activities is the sight of the food and also the smell of the food. And if you don't make out time to look at the food you are eating, make out time to absorb the smell that is coming out or the aroma that is coming out from that food, your brain will not be properly triggered to coordinate the necessary activities of the body towards ensuring the secretion of digestive enzymes. So please, to ensure proper food digestion, make out time to eat your food in order to allow the brain to trigger your body system in doing its work properly. Number 2, avoid distractions. A whole lot of time people eat, and while they're eating, they're pressing their phone, they're reading newspaper, they're doing other activities that will entirely take their mind away from the food they are eating. Your mental state matters a lot while eating. When we are distracted, our brain will not get the right signal that it needs to get in order to secrete the enzymes that our body needs for proper digestion. When you are distracted by some other things, your mind is shifted away from the food you want to eat, focusing on issues, focusing on worries, focusing on chatting, focusing on your phone and other activities outside the food you are eating. So if we must enjoy proper digestion, avoid every form of distraction while eating and focus on the food that you are eating. Your mental state matters a lot. If you are not in the right mental state, if you are worried while eating, if you are distressed, if you are so distracted by other issues of life, I want to assure you that digestion will not be properly carried out. You must also make out time to chew the food you are eating. Remember that I said that the first part of digestion starts from the mouth with the grinding of the food you are eating. Many a time people, because they are either in a hurry or they are not paying attention, they just put food in their mouth and they go ahead to swallow it without chewing properly. Digestion starts from the mouth most often, especially starchy foods and even proteinous food starts from the mouth through mechanical digestion. When you grind the food you are eating with your teeth, digestion have already started. But when you fail to grind properly, when you fail to chew properly, your system is going to have issues trying to digest the food that you have eaten. So proper digestion requires that you chew your food as many times as possible. It is recommended that we should chew the food we eat at least between 20 to 30 times before we proceed to swallow it. Also while eating, remember I said that your mental state matters a lot, that we should avoid the distraction. You need to focus on the food you are eating. Another mental state that is very important if you must achieve proper digestion is being in a happy mood. Okay, sometimes a lot of us eat food as if we are being forced to eat. Whenever there is a food before you, please relax and be happy that you are eating. Be appreciative to God that God has made provision for food for you to eat. Your mental state matters a lot for your brain to get the right signal. If you are angry, please, I will advise it is not the best time for you to eat. Or eating and you are being worried with issues of life. Always be joyful and grateful to God that there is a food before you to eat. When you eat with joy and appreciation and happiness, it helps to trigger your digestive enzymes to digest the food that you are eating. It's also very important that you watch the muscle of food you eat at a time, especially at the initial stage while you are starting. Many of you, because you're in a hurry or you are being distracted, you want to finish your food as soon as possible, and that will lead to improper chewing of the food before swallowing it. So it is very, very necessary that you watch the quantity of food that you put in your mouth at a go. Take it little by little, and then you can increase as you go ahead to enjoy your food. So like I said from the starting point of this video, so sorry that my environment have gotten that. Food hygiene and digestion is very, very important. The quality of the food we consume matters. So also how we go about eating the food. Ensuring the safety of the food we eat matters a lot if we must achieve good health. And ensuring that we have a proper digestion matters a lot as well, because no matter the quality of the food you consume, if there is no proper digestion, I assure you that your body will still not benefit from the nutrients that are contained in that wonderful food that you have prepared for yourself to eat. So in order for us to achieve good health, please always ensure good food hygiene and proper digestion. Maintain personal hygiene is very, very important. Cook at the proper temperature is very, very important. Eat when you are supposed to eat. Try to avoid drinking water between meals. It's very, very important if you must achieve good digestion. I know many of you do not know the reason for that advice most often. Your body secretes gastric juices which helps in food digestion. But when you take water in between meals, or those of you that like drinking chilled drink or taking cold water while eating or immediately after eating or immediately before eating, what you have done is that you reduce the concentration of the gastric juice which your body is producing for digestion, as well as reducing the quantity of hydrochloric acid that your body is making, which is supposed to help your body fight any pathogen that is attached to the food that you have consumed. When you drink water in between meals, you reduce the concentration of the gastric juice, you reduce the concentration of hydrochloric acid. So two things happens. Before the concentration will come back to its normalcy, the food that you have eaten have already started undergoing putrefaction. In other words, bacteria have started working on them. So instead of you having proper digestion, you are rather having a decay of the food you have eaten. And then also, if there are little pathogens that are attached in that food, because you have lowered the hydrochloric acid in your system by drinking water, your body will not be well equipped to fight any pathogen that are attached in that food, thereby sometimes leading to food poisoning. And at this point, we are coming to the end of this video, and I want to believe that you have learned something, that food hygiene and digestion is very, very important to our overall health. And as we go ahead to employ the little advice that I have given out in this little educational talk, I want to believe that you are going to see a great difference on how your body responds to the food you eat from now henceforth. Thank you and God bless.